In the heart of an old New England town, where the cobblestone streets whispered with the secrets of the past, and the dense fog seemed to obscure more than just the night, there existed a house that the locals scarcely spoke of, except in hushed, fearful tones. This was the Witherby Mansion, a grand yet desolate structure that loomed over Hawthorne Lane like a brooding specter, its windows dark and soulless, watching the town with an unseen gaze that chilled the bones of those who dared to look upon it. The story begins with Father Daniel McCarthy, a man of faith but plagued by doubt, who is summoned to the Witherby Mansion by a mysterious letter. The sender claims to be Elizabeth Witherby, the last known descendant of the town's founding family, who were rumored to have dabbled in the occult before meeting their tragic end. The letter speaks of strange occurrences within the house, whispers in the dark, shadows that move against the logic of light, and a chilling presence that seems to follow the observer, unseen but intensely felt. Elizabeth pleads for Father McCarthy's help, believing that only a man of God can confront the evil she fears has taken hold of her ancestral home. Father McCarthy, despite his skepticism of the supernatural, cannot ignore the desperation in Elizabeth's words. Armed with his faith, a small crucifix, and a deep-seated fear of what he might find, he steps into the Witherby Mansion on a cold autumn night that feels suffused with a preternatural silence. As he crosses the threshold, the air shifts around him, thick with the scent of decay and old secrets. The mansion's interior is a labyrinth of shadowed halls and decrepit rooms, each whispering tales of madness, despair, and death. Father McCarthy feels the weight of invisible eyes upon him, tracking his every move, his every breath. In his search for Elizabeth, Father McCarthy encounters inexplicable phenomena, mirrors that reflect not the room but scenes of horrific rites, portraits whose eyes seem to follow him, and a pervasive cold that seeps into his very soul. It becomes clear that the mansion is not merely haunted but possessed by an ancient, malevolent entity that has awakened with a purpose. The heart of this darkness is the mansion's library, a room untouched by time, where Father McCarthy discovers the Witherby family's grim legacy, tomes of forbidden knowledge, and a diary that reveals the extent of their pact with the darkness, a pact that promised power but brought only destruction. As Father McCarthy delves deeper into the mystery, he realizes that the entity seeks to use him as a vessel to escape its confines, to spread its malevolence into the world. The battle that ensues is not just for the soul of Elizabeth or the future of the town, but for Father McCarthy's own faith and sanity. He must confront the embodiment of evil, a force that challenges his deepest beliefs and fears, in a climax that tests the very limits of his spirit. As Father McCarthy stands in the threshold of the library, the air thick with the musty scent of ancient leather and paper, he understands that the battle he is about to face is as much within as it is against the malevolent force that haunts the Witherby Mansion. The diary, lying open on the dust-covered desk, whispers secrets of a dark pact made in desperation, of a family consumed by ambition that transcended the boundaries of moral reckoning. It speaks of Elizabeth's ancestors who, in their quest for power, unleashed something far beyond their control, something that demanded a price too horrific to comprehend. The house itself begins to feel alive, a pulsating heart of darkness that feeds on fear and despair. Father McCarthy, his faith his shield, begins to recite prayers, his voice steady but a stark contrast to the creeping silence that seems to absorb the sound. He feels the presence circling him, a coldness that mocks his efforts, whispering doubts and blasphemies that seek to unravel his spirit. But it is the silence that answers his prayers that terrifies him most, a silence so deep it threatens to swallow him whole. He realizes that to confront this evil, he must venture into its core, to the very room where the Witherby family performed their unholy rites. With each step towards the heart of the mansion, the oppressive atmosphere tightens around him, a tangible reminder of the entity's power. Portraits lining the walls seem to come alive, their painted eyes filled with sorrow and madness, victims of the mansion's curse who plead for release or warn him away with silent screams. In the depths of the house, he finds the ritual chamber, a grotesque altar at its center, surrounded by symbols that seem to writhe under his gaze. The air here pulses with an unseen energy, a miasma of ancient evil that clings to his skin, invading his mind with visions of atrocities committed in the name of forbidden knowledge. It is here, in the darkness that seems alive with unspeakable malice, that Father McCarthy faces the entity. It has no form, but its presence is undeniable, a maw of darkness that seeks to devour light, hope, and sanity. The priest feels the very fabric of his being tested as he confronts the abyss, his faith a flickering flame in the overwhelming darkness. The battle is not one of physical might, but of spiritual endurance. Father McCarthy, with the power of his faith, confronts the entity, reciting exorcisms, prayers, and passages of Scripture, each word a beacon against the darkness. The mansion shakes to its foundations, the entity roaring in defiance, its power waning under the assault of the priest's unwavering faith. In the climax of this spiritual warfare, Father McCarthy realizes that the key to defeating the entity lies not just in faith, but in forgiveness. He must forgive the Witherby family for their sins, release them from the bondage of their pact, and in doing so, strip the entity of its power. With this revelation, he offers up a prayer of forgiveness, a plea for mercy not just for the souls of the Witherby family, but for all who had suffered under the mansion's curse. As the words leave his lips, a light pierces the darkness, a pure, radiant force that fills the room, driving the entity back, its power disintegrating under the assault of such purity. The mansion trembles, the shadows dissipate, and for the first time in centuries, a silence falls that is peaceful, relieved of its burden of pain and fear. Father McCarthy emerges from the mansion as dawn breaks, the first light of day casting the house in a new, less ominous light. He is changed, his faith tested but unbroken, strengthened by the knowledge that even in the darkest of places, light can prevail. Elizabeth, freed from the entity's grasp, waits for him, her expression one of gratitude and newfound peace. Together they watch as the sun rises over the town, a symbol of hope and renewal. The Witherby Mansion, now just a house, stands silent, its windows no longer dark but reflecting the morning light. The curse is broken, the spirits of the past finally at rest, and Father McCarthy knows that while evil may linger in the shadows of the human heart, faith, forgiveness, and love hold the power to banish it into oblivion. Don't vanish just yet. If you've been haunted by the tales we've shared today, remember, there's a whole spectral world waiting to be explored. Before you go, make sure to like this video if you dare and subscribe to True Ghost Stories for more chilling tales from beyond the grave. Our ghosts, guests, come from all eerie corners of the afterlife to share their spine-tingling experiences with you. But the ghostly encounter doesn't end here. Ring that notification bell to summon updates directly from the other side, ensuring you never miss a tale of terror. Want to be part of our ghost hunting squad? Comment below with your own spooky experiences or which haunted tale you'd like us to uncover next. Remember, in the world of true ghost stories, you're never alone. So keep the lights on, stay tuned, and let's continue to uncover the mysteries lurking in the shadows together.